It's the leader. He's the wizard. He's forcing the mouth open.
Well, stop him. Kill him or something.
My dagger is gone. You kill him.
Not me. It's bad luck to kill a wizard.
Wait. There's a better way to take care of a wizard.
Welcome to another episode. And today we got Andy Picaro and Micah, Raging River. These guys came up with a new infinite combo in Old School. Doesn't happen a lot. I don't know. This was played in the last 30 years, so we're going to go deep on a few different builds, talk about it a little bit, why it works, why we thought it didn't, but it does, and just generally hang out with these guys. So hope you enjoy it, and we'll talk to you soon. Well, hey guys, thanks for joining us, man. New mix for the pod. Andy and I were just talking on Discord, and I said, hey, if you ever want to jump on here, we don't do a lot of guests, but I know you guys for quite a while now, on and off with stuff. So yeah, we don't have any hard topics or anything. So I just wanted to welcome you guys, and I'm sure we'll figure something out here as we go. I got to start with GloryCon, and you guys taking me down in the spice category. That was tough. That was a tough blow. My wife loves that I talk about it like the most important thing ever. I'm like, it was rough, man. I was at the finish line and got second. She's like, you're the biggest freaking nerd ever. So I'm doing the podcast tonight with the two guys that took me down. She's like, this is
salt in the wound. Oh,
yeah.
It was a rough ride home. Brian was just holding back tears the whole time.
Was he really? Oh my
goodness.
It
was rough.
Well, he stopped by and he talked to me for like a minute or so, and he said, hey, congratulations, I tried my best, and he gave me one of the magazines that you printed out, and we didn't get to chat that much, but it was tough competition, man, this year. Everybody, I mean, not just you, there was a lot of spice out there, I think.
It's always tough. I won a couple years ago or 2 years, so I was like coming back. I'm like, I'm gonna try for a twofer. And I thought I had it. I'm like, I think I'm there, but I never was confident because I'm like, for whatever reason, the freaking the GloryCon really brings out the spicers. I'm like, it's a tough call.
I had no idea. I had pre-registered for GloryCon a number of times. This is my first time that I got a chance to go. Micah, I don't know if you've been to GloryCon, but
no, it was my first time at GloryCon. Was an awesome event. Not my first time in Gettysburg, but my first time probably since I was a teenager in Gettysburg. It was a great weekend. I took my wife and kids, and they did the battle tours while I did battles of a different sort.
Yeah, I knew Mike because he won our deck photo contest with that cool like pentagram looking thing or whatever he put together. Did you guys ever see that?
no,
I
don't think I saw that.
No.
Hang on, let's see if I can pull that up because that's pretty epic. So it was a couple of years ago. We just tried a deck photo contest. No deck, just submit your pictures.
Oh right, I remember that.
Yeah, and so Mike, he won it. Franz won it, and
that now, with the candles.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Like the only thing we could knock him on was it was a really goofy deck. I mean, other than that, I mean, so he did the whole like circle, and he made it almost like a pentagram with this weird jacket and candles everywhere. I mean, like, holy hell, that's a deck photo. And he can't even re-enter. After that, he's like, I can never top it. So yeah, that's how I got to know him. So we bullshit about this. I think this is actually his brother-in-law or something. It's not even him, in his garage, and he had like a camera set up on a ladder and did a lot of stuff. So
this is what Instagram is for. This right here. It's
exactly.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was awesome. We were all blown away. And Broster put together, like, he altered an entire deck and got second. He's like, how the hell is that possible? I think one of the most expensive ultras out there, and he got second to this guy. So anyhow, I love those guys out there. They're a lot of fun. Levi and all them, they're a great group. So
yeah, they put a great event out. It's definitely
and
a lot
then
of fun.
Yeah, the first time I went, my deck was a Gwendolyn deck, and I made a video about this whorehouse that was in the Civil War times, and the North and South would go there and meet the hookers, and then So I had a little movie that themed it with it, and they paired jewels, and it was the Moxes and all this stuff. So it was pretty fun. All right, so tried the comic to combat it, but how long have you guys been sitting on this combo that, and have we determined if it actually works or not?
That's all I want answered is like, does it work?
It
It
works.
definitely works.
It definitely works. When did Micah's the one who kind of stumbled upon the combo? Like, when was that, Micah?
Yeah, I'm scrolling, Andy. I'm going back through our DMs when we first discovered this. I think it was in November of last year or October.
Yeah, that sounds
I've been
right.
working on a project just privately for a long time, to like a couple of years now, to really dive into the rules of all the old school cards, and
Okay.
not just kind of expand what Scryfall does, but not just the rulings, but also give examples and kind of deep dives into how the rules interactions, just as a way to keep my brain tickled. And so in the process of doing that, I've gone deep on really weird cards and trying to figure out like, how does cleansing actually work, and all these other cards that nobody plays but are really, an Equinox and all these really bizarre cards that are kind of unique in
That's
the
great.
rule set. And in the process of doing that, I for a bunch of different cards, there's not a lot of control changing effects in old school, right? So that obviously you have control magic, steal artifact, and then you got this handful of, it's actually 9 different creatures, although other than preacher we don't use many of them. But there's a total of 9 creatures in old school that can take control of things, whether it's a creature or an artifact or whatever. At some of them at instant speed, some of them not. But anyway, that kind of, I was looking at one of those cards about, okay, well, what happens if what happens if you steal control of a creature during combat, and what happens if you steal control of a creature while a spell's on the stack, and all these things. And that kind of took me down a rabbit hole into rule 6082 of the comprehensive rules, which talks about when the game checks who controls things. And for certain types of effects, you check it when the ability or spell, the spell is cast or the ability is activated. But for other things, and in fact for most effects, you don't check it until the ability resolves.
Mhm.
And so, there's some effects or spells that only work if they're targeting something you control or targeting something your opponent controls. And so a lot of those effects would fizzle if you change control of the target before it resolves, but most of them don't. And this is a long way of like how I got into this process, and I came across Haunting Wind, and I'm like, oh, yeah, so it actually does damage to whoever the artifact controller is at the time the ability resolves.
Let's see what kind of crazy machine we can build to take
So
advantage of this.
I wonder what can we do with this? And so then I went into the gatherer and said, okay, what can I activate an infinite number of times in old school? And there's only 2 cards.
What's the other one? Because I felt like we were talking about the other day. Like, isn't there a better? What's the other one?
No, it's a worse one. The only other one is Urza's Avenger.
Yeah, that's bad.
Right? So you can activate Ad's ability is another one. It's an artifact that costs 0 to activate. And when it resolves, it gets -1/-1 until end of turn and an ability. And technically, you could activate that 1,000 times too. But it's more expensive than the Knowledge Vault and less utility. Plus, it's a creature, so it's easier to remove. So it's just worse all around. So anyway, that's
something we talked about last week, Jason. Why can't I not think of that?
Oh no, that wasn't something that activates for nothing. It was instead of Haunting Winds, you use Artifact Possession or something like that.
Yeah, Artifact Possession is probably strictly better.
Yeah, Andy and I were recently talking about that as well, and I agree. The effect is exactly the same, except it only works on the enchanted artifact, and it does 2 damage instead of 1. but otherwise the effect is worded identically.
Yeah.
The only corner cases would be if you're playing something like Shops or a prison deck where they have like 10 artifacts and they just can't use them because they're going to be taking damage. So that would be the only corner case. I think
it's an
I
interesting
think artifact
and
possession is strictly better.
Yeah, I think so in most cases. Although, I mean, I love Haunting Wind. It's just a card I've loved for a long time, way before I ever stumbled across this weird interaction. I just think it's a great prison card and really punishes the tier 1 decks. Not punishes them, but at least slows them down in a way.
Well, it doesn't work against power artifacts.
So I guess my question about it, because like I was pretty staunchly in the camp when I heard about this combo, which the first time I heard about it, I think was the first time everybody else heard about it.
Yeah.
At GloryCon there. And so I was thinking about, okay, so how does this work? And it took me a minute. I played Magic for a long time, so like I'd say I'm I'm like moderate with the rules, but when you have to start getting down into like comprehensive rules 6.1.b or whatever, like, okay, I don't know. But so I was sitting there thinking about this combo, and the thing that my brain couldn't wrap its head around is, so when you put all the triggers on the stack, and then you activate your gauntlet, right? And then you swap the artifact. And so now, as all those triggers resolve, it's dealing damage because your opponent now controls the artifact, right?
Correct.
But wouldn't the first trigger when it resolves sacrifice the artifact, and then all the rest of the triggers nobody controls it anymore because it's in the graveyard?
No, once you swap it's that trigger that says destroy the knowledge vault, nothing's going to happen. And I think if you go to Gatherer.
Yeah, if you go through the sequence, like here's how it works, right? So you control a knowledge vault, and it's either you control a Haunting Wind, or you control a Haunting Wind, or you have an artifact possession on the knowledge vault. You activate the knowledge vault, and then each time in response to the zero ability, the first ability, right? You activate it, and then once that's on the stack, you activate it again and activate it again. You do that 1,000,000 times. And then at the last, whenever you're done doing that, you then activate the gauntlets, targeting one of your opponent's artifacts. Assuming the gauntlet's ability resolves, and we can talk about that risk, which is it's a fragile combo. This is not a tier 1 combo. It's fragile. But
so I think
assuming that resolves, right? Well, first of all, activating the gauntlets will, if you're using Haunting Winds, that'll again trigger. So you will take 1 damage no matter what if you're using Haunting Winds not from the gauntlets activation.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Right. Yeah.
So if you're at 1 life,
you can't go off. I learned that through playtesting. I was like, wait, I can't win. I'm at 1. But Brian, if you go to, I guess, Gatherer and pull up Knowledge Vault,
it's
can you
down
share the
there.
screen? See the little arrow?
How do I do that?
There's a little arrow up there, and probably near the red leave button says share. You can just share the screen. Our YouTube content is stellar. You're talking about editing and all that. We don't edit crap. I just since we recorded on Teams, I just put on YouTube.
Is it open share tray?
It should just say share. Is there a camera, mic, and a share button? Camera, mic.
Open share tray.
Share, leave. Mine's right next to the giant leave button.
Can I put it in there?
I mean, I think the Scryfall has.
Anyway, it says, I'm just going to read it. So basically, It said there's a ruling on Gatherer. That's the third one that I think answers your question, Jason. Is that if you activate Knowledge Vault's second ability, all that happens at the time you pay the cost is 0. As the ability resolves, you have to sacrifice Vault, yada yada. This is mandatory. If you're able to do so, you discard your hand. That's what normally would happen. But at the last sentence says, if you aren't able to do so because Knowledge Vault left the battlefield, like it was disenchanted or something, or it changed controllers, Before the ability resolves, nothing happens. So the Knowledge Vault has changed controllers. Now, as those triggers from the Knowledge Vault happen through that are in the stack, nothing's going to happen with regard to that trigger. It's not going to be sacrificed because the controller is now your opponent. So the only
Because
triggers
the
that are
first
left
thing, right?
are the triggers for the haunting ones. Does that make sense?
The easiest way I think to remember it is to remember that the permanents have controllers, right? But also abilities and spells while they're on the stacks, they also have controllers, right? And 99.9% of the time when you activate an ability of your permanent, you're the controller of that ability, right, for the whole time, and then when it resolves, it resolves. But if something happens to your permanent, let's take a simple example, right? You control Tim, Prodigal Sorcerer. You activate it, right? Targeting your opponent. In response, your opponent uses Preacher to steal the Tim, right? So on the stack, there's still an ability of Prodigal Sorcerer trying to deal 1 damage. That's still sitting on the stack. And you still control that ability, even though you don't control the Tim anymore, right? You lost control of the creature, but the ability is still on the stack and you still control that ability. So for Knowledge Vaults, it's the same way. When you control the Knowledge Vault and you activate its activated ability, the 0/1, you control that ability the whole time it's on the stack, no matter what happens to the vault. Once it's activated and put on the stack, it's your ability. So you have a million of these activations sitting on the stack. And then when the first one tries to resolve, as Andy just said, the first thing it says is sacrifice Knowledge Vault. Well, you don't control the Knowledge Vault anymore. So you can't sacrifice something you don't control. So the whole rest of the ability doesn't do anything.
So that kind of takes it off the table.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Cleared that up.
But it wouldn't really matter either way, because even if you do sacrifice, let's say even if the rules didn't work that way, and the Knowledge Vault was sacrificed the very first time that one of those million triggers resolved, it still wouldn't matter, because the game also, there's a rule again in 6082 which says that if in order to figure out what to do with an effect, you need to know who controlled something that was on the battlefield and it's not there anymore, then you use the last information, right? Whatever it was on the battlefield. So a good example of this is something like Creature Bond, right? Creature Bond is an aura that says when that creature dies, it deals damage to its controller, right? I forget, like it's equal to its power or something, I forget. Toughness.
Yeah.
Right. When an enchanted creature dies, Creature Bond deals damage equal to that creature's toughness to that creature's controller, right? So if someone stole control of that creature and then it died, right? It would go to the owner's graveyard, not its controller's graveyard. But this is the same rule that says the game remembers who controlled Creature Bond at the time it died. The game remembers what its toughness was at the time that creature died. That's how Creature Bond works, right? Because if the game didn't remember that information once the permanent left the battlefield, the game wouldn't know who to deal damage to and wouldn't know how much damage to deal. So the game remembers who controlled it when it was last there before it died. So, and it's this, again, the same way. So even if someone after the Knowledge Vault changes hands to your opponent, even if they disenchanted it, shattered it, had a way to sacrifice it at instant speed or something weird like that, the game would still remember that they were the last person that controlled it. So each time Haunting Winds tries to do damage, it says who last controlled that artifact, and that's what it would see. But again, your opponent would just shatter it before Gauntlet's resolved anyway and kill you.
Yeah, the take-home point here is to shatter or get rid of it before it's
Yeah.
So that's it's not like it's I don't think it's like the next best combo, but I mean it's definitely a little fragile. So
No, but that's good, because at least it clears up like how it works, because Because I was sitting there like racking my brain, like how in the hell does this thing even work? But no, that makes sense. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well,
And I mean, yeah, I think Micah, I guess it was November. I don't know. Time flies. Jeez. And we started, racking our brains and trying to think of like what the best shell would be and kind of
How did
landed
your
on blue
games go? You
black.
guys freaking won games. I mean, I can't believe you won anything with this deck. How the hell did you pull this off?
Yeah,
I don't have your decks handy, but they were. I mean,
it's like
you run 8 or 10 mazes, or how'd you do that?
Micah ran. Would you run 3 mazes? I think I
I,
ran
I
2.
I ran 3 or 4.
I ran one
We had
once.
slightly different builds. I mean, I was initially my mind tends to gravitate towards prison, so I was brainstorming different like kind of moat builds, maybe an Arborea build or something like that. Andy is a much better player than I am and wins more games, so he was brewing a more kind of traditional full power blue and black shell, which I mainly just copied for GloryCon, and I tweaked a few cards. I think we were 4 cards different, something like that, 5 cards different, pretty close.
Yeah, I think a lot. Surprise factor was a big deal. Like if you
Yeah,
didn't
because
know,
who's worried
nobody
at that
knew.
point? Like you're not
Nobody
doing
knew what
anything.
to.
You're just sitting
Nobody
there
knew
with
what
some
to expect. You
nonsense.
just have
Yeah,
to
everybody
like
just
come
sees
out of
these
the
weird
blue.
legends cards come down and be like, "What the heck is this spicy thing I'm looking at?"
And I think that's. I mean, the knowledge vault is not terrible. It's a lot of games you use it, like you get your first knowledge vault, but you're not using it for the combo. When I was playtesting it, I was sacking it just to draw cards, just to get board stabilized and then go off with another vault later. And the gauntlets of chaos are really good. They're expensive, but you know, I'll take one of your mishras. I don't know. I'll take
Yeah,
something that's relevant.
I mean, I used one to steal my opponent's Nev disc before he could untap it. Like it's a very useful.
the,
Um,
the Hail Mary play, the
yeah,
desperation play.
there we go.
Yeah, unfortunately, black and blue is very bad in artifact removal, but so we kind of had to get the threats out of their hand or counter them or something. But
I mean, I guess Abyss buys you time. I was on that same plan too. I was just kind of jamming some abysses to stall.
I
That
will
does
say, I
things.
mean, like Andy said with Knowledge Vault, my main takeaway from this whole experience of playing this deck at GloryCon is how good these 3 cards actually just are. Forget about the combo. Like Knowledge Vault is a good card. Gauntlets of Chaos is a really versatile, good card. Um, I was very happy, and I used each of these cards. Each of these cards helped me win games even without the combo part.
yeah, they're not terrible. I mean, yeah, the only thing haunting ones is just situational, but the other two are not bad. And I was paranoid. Like when I was playtesting this, I would never reveal what the win con was to whoever I was playing with. I was like, in my head, I was like, I'd be on whereby, and I'd be like, okay, can you just remember what's in your hand right now? And then we'd play it out. And even if I lost, I'd be like, all right, what was in your hand? And if they said shatter or disenchant, then okay, I would have lost that game. Or if they didn't say anything, okay, I won that game. Like nobody knew. I was all for the surprise factor, so it was fun.
No, it's awesome, man.
Don't feel bad. We had to really go to
Oh,
the bowels of magic to find a combo to like win the spice prize.
well, it actually made my day. I was it was awesome, to be honest. I cleaned up in the raffle, so I can't even complain, man.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't even know how I pulled that nonsense
So
off.
much peer pressure. Jeez.
I got the signed one and opened the pack and had another one in it.
When it rains, it pours, I guess.
I know, yeah, it's pretty awesome. Well, so what you're going down the rabbit hole of old cards and details on the erratas and all that. Anything else jumping out at you? I mean, you don't have to spoil your next big combo, but anything we should know that we're not aware of today?
No, I think we've exhausted most of the.
There's not much there.
Not much there. Damn it.
The tier 3 instant win combos that Old School has to offer. No, mainly for me, it's just been a fun project to explore all these cards, like just the cards that nobody uses, and for good reason. There's a reason we don't use them all, but
Oh yeah. But no, 100%. I've been as I collect stuff, I just play every card I get and try to make it work. And some of them are definitely better. I probably should go back and visit them more. Things like Knowledgeful or something like, yeah, that's actually kind of decent. You can get an extra 2 or 3 cards some games. We're just kind of chilling with it and trying to figure out this art though. Like, so there's so
It's like the Knowledge Vault art.
yeah, maybe this isn't the one.
It's very.
So yeah, I mean it's obviously weird and all, but is this bug just sitting on top of the painting because it doesn't fit in its hole? Like everything else is stuck in the thing, and then you got this giant scarab that's just like actually sitting on the card. It's like that fly in your television. Like, is that really in this show right now?
I love Amy Weber art. I think it's Blue Mana Battery. Is that one of them? Also has a beetle on it. I mean, I'm thinking of a different.
That
card.
does sound right. Yeah, but I think it's just got random skeletal legs sitting there and a book balanced on it. I mean, it's really hard to replicate this in your office if you wanted to.
Like that. How is
Right.
that snake? How is that snake even crawling up the side of the?
I don't know.
It's weird.
I'd like to go to her house, but oh wait, not this one. Maybe these are actual batteries. That's an actual sketch of real batteries. This is how the Tesla works.
That's funny.
Mike, you did the whole Spectral Chaos set too, right? Like
Yes, I
pieced
did.
all that together. It was a labor of love. Do you do much with that anymore? Or you have those cards in a cube or anything fun like that?
No, I would love to. I don't cube nearly often enough. When I do cube, I try to use my main 9395 cube. But I would love to do a standalone Spectral Chaos cube. I'd say it's very similar in feel and size to Ice Age, and it's very similar in a lot of ways, just in kind of, I think, play style. And you got 10% of the cards are just awful, just so overcosted and useless. You could never ever use them. And there's a few busted things. Lotus Petal being the main one.
How many cards in Spectral Chaos? What was the total number?
Oh man,
beauty cards.
400.
Wow.
Or something. It
Yeah,
would
it
have been the
was a
second
big
largest
set.
expansion set ever. It was I think just behind Ice Age.
That sounds like a miserable cube experience right there.
Yeah, so I never wanted to put it together by itself, and I still have a few of them. I have a cube that's just kind of busted. We just write things on it, kind of like we were talking earlier. We just take sorceries and just make them enchantment or whatever. It's kind of busted. It's not, but it's mostly older cards. And yeah, some people get a little tilted. They don't like some of those things, but there's so many great, just like, man, this is an awesome card that should exist. So there's probably 20 I just can't take out of the cube that are just too cool, and some of the rituals and different things like that. They're just awesome. I mean, they kind of fill some gaps and not everything. I don't know that it would be a great experience to just jam all of them.
It would definitely have to be curated to some degree. Like
Oh, yeah.
400 is just too much, but maybe there might be something in there. I know at Chalice, some of the guys were drafting it. I don't know if it was a cube or they just did random packs, but they were saying it was, yeah.
Brian, like you said, the off-color rituals.
Yeah,
That
they're
alone
cool.
is such an interest. 1 white to get 3 green mana, and like whatever. Like there was a set of them, and it's just yeah. And the
I like these the anti mana. Those are cool because they're 0 cost.
Those are busted.
Those are pretty busted.
completely
I like those.
Yeah, those are totally busted. But it's so interesting. I mean, that's the kind of thing. I would love to do something like Magnus did with Scryings, which is, I'm a huge Scryings fan. I think it was so well edited and curated and very thoughtful in which cards they put in and which they didn't. And it's a really fun experience. And what was Scryings? 100 cards, I think, total. It was a lot of cards.
Something like that. It's
Something
not
like that,
huge, yeah.
It's a solid number, but I mean, you take something like Spectral Chaos, I could pick, 10 cards and just say, just make these 10 cards legal, and Old School would change completely. Like it doesn't take much to build a whole new format. It really doesn't.
Well, and the other thing I'd like to do is just fix some of the unplayables and make them kind of, just a little bit usable. See if I can find this. So Ackles Tome. I use this all the time. I love this card, but if it was not yours, if it just changed the color of target permanent.
Yeah.
So like in the cube, I just scratched out you control.
Yeah.
But it's an entire archetype just to like run pump nice, just to keep making all their stuff black or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's just cool. It costs 4 or 2 to activate. It's not busted. It'd be super fun. I'd love to just do a small expansion of 50 cards that are in Old School with just slight modifications,
There's a fun story behind Alcor's Tomb, actually.
Sure, what's that?
It was supposed to be Alcor's Tome to go along with JM Day Tome and Jalum Tome and all the other tomes. That's what it was supposed to be, but there was a typo. It autocorrected from Tome to Tomb, and that's when Jesper got the art assignment. He was like, "Okay, I don't know who Alcor is, but I'm supposed to make a tomb."
Make a tomb for it.
Then he submitted that painting, and they're like, "Oh crap! Okay, well, I guess we already did the art. I guess that's the name of the card now." I think they even changed the effect too, because Alcor was like, I don't know, somebody's D&D campaign guy or something. Because all those guys were into D&D, so they were always
there was like their D&D
pulling
names
names from their different D&D characters.
Well, I have a deck built right now. I'm just making Pestilence white and a pro black deck so that my knights and stuff don't die. I love the card. I just wish like it would be so much better if I could just do crap to my opponents. Or there's this. I could come up with a boatload of these. It'd be a fun reprint just to slightly tweak things or give some of the stuff flying that should have flying because it has wings or.
Oh yeah, or take lands that don't make mana and just make them just say they can make mana. Change
Well, that's kind of a house rule we have. But I was trying to make a format called Playground Rules. So if you like you did on the playground, like you see something on the art and you can explain like Evil Eye, Worms Go, I can see your hand, dude. Like just show me your hand. Like you would just have to make that argument.
Look at the eyeball on this thing. Come on.
And that's how it works. And obviously it's flying, it has wings, and just all the stuff you would have done on the playground. It does make for a fun format. We never tried it. It's probably too busted, but there's a lot of great stuff you can do if you just like base it on the art. Like if you can see it in the art, you can make it happen.
Petrosphinx has flying.
Yeah, obviously.
Like really good.
Right.
Why would it not?
I don't know. So
I don't know. I think I had a whole thing on our Discord at one point about that. I was really into it. I thought I was gonna make the playground rules stick, but they never did.
It would probably lead to some heated debates there.
Oh, I know. How awesome would that be?
That's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Great.
Andy, do you want to talk through some of the other kind of shells we've like brainstormed about for the combo?
Oh yeah, we kind of did some work on Titania's Song. I don't know if you mentioned it, because that's like another kind of finisher. And all these artifacts are huge. They're like, Mirror Universe is 6, Gauntlets is 5, and
yeah, at GloryCon, I think it was round 4. I don't remember. I have to look at my notes, but I faced a Titania's Song deck, and as soon as I saw it come down game 1, I'm like, "Oh,
okay.
This is golden! Like I'm gonna smoke this guy." I'm not scared of that at all.
It's great. Yeah, that's definitely. I was playing around with Gauntlets of Golemite, see if that can have any legs, just like a red-black build. That was kind of interesting. What did that have in it?
I was messing around with a Eureka build for a while to get, again, the surprise factor of, right, and it's theoretically possible to get like a maybe turn 2, turn 3 win out of that or something.
But that's relying on Eureka and 3 of That's a 4-card. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a tough one in a
it's
world full of hippies and hymns, and yeah,
yes.
that's
So
how I would play it because I'm bad at Magic. I would totally go that, but yeah, it's a hard one to pull off.
exactly. Yes, I realized, okay, let me take a 3-card combo that's already very fragile and make it harder to find.
But Magical Christmas Land.
One needs to make that event at Christmas time.
Yeah, that's the best land.
So I don't know. I'm excited.
Choose your
it's-
opening hand. Magical Christmas Land is a card land.
I don't know. I hope somebody else picks it up and says, "Okay, let me see if I can put something together." And because clearly, this is not the best. And then we'll see. Hopefully, somebody comes up with something to build on what we've done. And
Yeah, and
something
the
we
fact
missed.
that your opponent has to have an artifact for it to work,
Yeah, that's
it actually does. It's more relevant than I thought it would be, right? Because I mean, yes, generally speaking, most people have a Soul Ring or a Mox or like something going on over there. But a lot of the weenie builds just don't have anything relevant, and even some decks like I don't know, like Troll Disco, other than Nev discs, they don't run many artifacts. Like there's and obviously Mono Black runs none or close to none. So that was another factor. Like there was one game at GloryCon where I had the whole combo ready to win, and my opponent, the only artifact they controlled was my Black Lotus, which I had previously given them with a Gauntlets of Chaos to steal their Nev disc. So I couldn't win because he would just sacrifice the Lotus in response.
you get all happy, then you're like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm done. Go.
Yeah, so that's definitely a weakness, and obviously the deck, we would just get destroyed by Atog because the Atog can just eat all the artifacts before the switch resolves. So that's another way to hose the combo. So we're giving all the people who want to hose our magical combo. I'm giving you all the tips. Just
Please put your
don't
sideboard
control
to
any
stop
artifacts.
just this.
After this gets aired, the
That's
combo's
right.
dead.
Or
What
just
was
go ahead and
the-
play a better deck. Which is also
I've seen
an option.
people play Gauntlets and Sorrow's Path. What's the
Oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
usually they play Sorrow's Path with Icy Manipulator, so that after
just
you
keep
give it to
tapping
them,
it?
you tapping it, and then they take the damage
It does 2
I-
damage
I-
to each creature.
and them, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I played Sorrow's Path. This card is so bad, but I in Scryings it gets marginally better because you have Political Trickery, which you can just give them the Sorrow's Path in exchange for their land, or you play like an Undiscovered Paradise and you give them your paradise or something. There's other things you can do with Political Trickery, which is an amazing card in Scryings, but even then it's still kind of bad. I don't know what they were thinking when they were making this card.
Yeah,
Is he
I don't think
stabbing
anybody
himself?
knows.
I guess he is, right? Yeah, I guess that's I didn't realize that. The wizard's making this guy stabbing himself in the neck. That's pretty good art. Now that I'm looking at it.
And the dragon's just hanging out there, just watching,
Yeah.
not doing
I
anything.
love
just
Randy's
watching.
art, Randy Aspen Faith. I mean, he is like the most quintessential like D&D type art. It's just great.
We went to this this was a long time ago. Just like God, it was before LARPing was a thing even. I don't even know how I found out. I was like typical everything else. Take my family to this thing, show up. Everyone's dressed as knights. Most of them are kind of nerdy old dudes like myself. There were a few guys like wearing real armor, like fighting the hell out of each other. But they had this bridge setups, this bridge scenario, and there were a big battle, and there was a guy in the back with a really long, like a 9-foot long pole with like a styrofoam thing on it, and he would try to reach over everyone's head and stab people in the middle, just like this guy is. And there was a little guy over here on the side with a crossbow, and he would like fire it, and it would just shoot like this little Nerf bullet every so often, like punk. Then he'd go over and he'd wind up another one and punk. But I loved the guy in the back. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea, because he had this like 12 foot. It was super long, exactly like this guy up here at the top. lean over everyone else. You put your shield guys in the front, and they're fighting, and then he would sit there in the back and find the weakness. It's pretty cool. I love the place, but my wife at the time never wanted to go back. I don't understand why.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah.
It
Divorced
is
her.
amazing. It never ceases to amaze me in early Magic design, just how much they hated people attacking with creatures. They made the creatures so bad, and you have all these like Sorrow's Path is just another terrible way to like marginally make attacking just that much riskier. And they
I
were
think it's-
so afraid of it, they made this card for it.
I think it was because, I mean, when I played, you naturally get you get kind of called to the creature, right? Nobody does spells. Everybody wants to attack with creatures. When you're a kid, that's
Yeah.
what you do. So your initial first decks, I mean, nobody makes a control deck as a first deck. You make a creature deck, and that's probably what the playtesters did as well. And they were like, oh, maybe if we make them too good, it'll be
Yeah,
fine.
and that's why
So-
that's why, you know, the big creatures were so important. I mean, a Shivan Dragon was worth more than a Black Lotus, because if you actually wanted to win a game and your best
Yeah.
creature was Hill Giant, you were never going to win a game unless you got that Shivan. It was never going to happen.
Damn it, they drew it again.
Yeah. You're playing your little 42 card decks, right? Out of the one revised box starter deck and 2 packs you got of Fallen Empires or whatever, and you're just never going to win without those big fatties. It's the only way to win.
Just remember, the games would just stall out forever. You're just
Yeah.
Jesus.
Or like, you
Just
remember
like-
how critical Millstone was. Once that got printed, everyone's like, oh my gosh. Everyone put a Millstone in their decks, like everyone, because it was very legitimate that the game might completely stall out and whoever got decked would lose. That happened
Mhm.
not infrequently.
Everybody went around looking for that Felden's cane. You're like, oh, I gotta have one on my sideboard.
That's right.
Yeah, but games would stall out. It would just be like draw go, play a dude, draw go. I don't know.
Yeah, especially if you're just like, if you were just starting. 'Cause you just had like this 5-color nonsense deck that you might not even have all the lands to play. So yeah.
Right.
Magic was wild back in the day.
I like
Yeah,
green
I
red.
mean, I
was
definitely
drawn to green red.
Sorry, Andy, what'd you say?
No, I was just saying. I was just thinking. I was drawn to green red initially. That was like what called to me as a kid. So it was all.
Oh yeah,
creatures.
Taiga was my first like dual land that I ever owned, and the only dual land I think I owned in the 90s. And then I pulled a second one and I traded it for a fork, which was a
Fork
Nice.
was the card,
a
man.
very legit trade.
Traded a Tundra for a Will-o'-the-Wisp. Just because Will-o'-the-Wisp could block a Shivan Dragon.
Yes.
It's like I will
Fucking tired
not
of
lose
that
to this
shit.
card again.
Yeah.
Don't make fun of Will-O-Wisp. There's nothing that gets rid of that damn
No.
card.
Bringing us full circle, I ran 2 Will-o'-the-Wisp in my sideboard at GloryCon. And the reason I did that was mainly for Blood Moon, because, and it was relevant in one of the decks because, I mean, I'm not scared of Blood Moon. Blood Moon doesn't stop me from winning, but I'm running 4 mazes and it does kill, it stops all my mazes from working, and I needed another way. And I run plenty of basics. So I was like, oh, I'm going to throw some of these Will-o'-the-Wisps in there. And that turned out to be a good play. I was very happy with that.
I actually don't even know why people don't run more mazes. They probably should.
Well, 100%.
Just
So
in
I
general.
was,
Probably right.
yeah, Eric just talked to me the other day. It's like candelabras. He's like, why don't you just run like 4 mazes in the candelabras? So
Oh my god,
And-
nobody's getting through.
yeah, and you know what? It's pretty freaking good, dude.
It's so good.
Like, you know what? You're right. Why don't we just do that? Because I'm trying, and maybe you guys have some input on this, but I'm trying to do big mana things. And I started out using 4 Guardian Beast, and I was going to run 4 Gauntlets and use the Guardians to protect it. And as I kind of kept brewing it, I was like, man, I really want. So I just did like the Tron lands, and the hell's the one that bounces something for 6.
Obelisk of
of
Undoing.
Undoing.
Obelisk, yeah, Obelisk, and then like the Barge, give something island lock, give a couple things island lock, bounce it and kill their thing. deck's pretty damn good. And but I ended up taking the gauntlets out. I just went Tron lands. But I don't know if it's really hard to get the freaking 3 Tron lands. You always end up with 3 towers and a power plant or something. It's just hard. I don't know that that's better. But I realized what is good is 4 Mace of Ith and Candelabra is pretty damn good.
So good.
Just like every game I'm losing, I'm like, oh wait, hang on, I got another maze here and regrow another one, and it's a pretty cool deck. I don't know, we played a little bit the other day, and I was like, damn, I can't believe I made it as a joke. It did really good.
Just
The
gotta
decks
be
like
willing
that,
to sit
like-
there for a while.
Yeah, I always don't know. The question for me is going to time. Like running that in an actual event, like casually, that's just fun and whatever. But running it in an actual event, how do you ever get to game 2? I mean, so many games go so long.
That was my problem at GloryCon, and it wasn't me. It was like I had 2 really slow opponents. We never even got to play game 3 against the one. I'm like, oh, come on, man. We're just sitting there on an empty board, and he just plays Armageddon. I'm like, why would you do that, dude? Like, why?
Armageddon us back to the Stone Age here.
Why just getting on turn 7 with nothing on the board? Like, really? All right, let's start over again. So yeah, it was. Did you guys play Winter Derby?
No, I didn't.
I
think
No,
you
I
did
did not.
You? No,
not this time.
you meant to, but I think we were talking about it. But no,
I am gonna
didn't get around to
try-
it.
I haven't started playing actual games yet, but I'm gonna play a different version of this combo deck in the Neos monthly
Okay.
this month. So, spoiler alert! If you're my opponent, I don't know. I haven't started playing yet.
They always seem to have some kind of special thing each month, right? They have something.
Yeah,
Artifacts
they always
cost 2
figure
less
something.
this month, or
This time it's just Swedish with factory restricted.
okay. I'm all right with that.
We'll see how it
But
does.
that's the other thing. I mean, this deck, this combo. I mean, Andy, you were a big fan of the hymns. I think you
Oh,
had
I
4.
Yeah.
I think I used 1 or 2. But you don't need this could easily be a Swedish combo deck too.
All right. So what's Flash Counter in here for?
Oh, here we go. I knew it. I knew. I knew you were gonna do this.
Yeah, I gotta pick something to play. I mean, I guess Disenchant, right?
And Shatter.
My only argument is we're already taxing the mana base already, so that one extra mana is key. I don't know. You can make an
seriously,
argument.
you guys
No,
are after
it's-
Shatter and Disenchant are the 2 things that wreck this, right?
Yeah,
So-
Shatter, Disenchant, Crumble. Anything that you can make an argument for Spell Blast being that card. That's fine. You could probably even just take out the flash counter and put in another card. That might be a flex spot, like maybe another terror or something. I don't know, but yeah, that's mainly it. Is there anything else you're worried
I've just
about?
had so
Not
much
really.
fun with
I mean-
Spell Blast and stopped so many like Gauntlet of Chaos. I'll just Spell Blast that. You're like, what the fuck just happened? I don't know. I just love doing that. Like, what the hell? Why would you? You don't even know what I'm doing. Why would you spend 7 minutes on that? I just love to be able to do that. But
Mine
Spell
was
Blast? What is this?
definitely more-
1997? Who plays Spell Blast?
Spell Blast. That Spell Blast
play-
everything, dude.
Got to play around it, man.
Turn 1
Andy's-
Lotus.
Andy's-
Not today.
Andy's version was a little more black than mine. He was running more hymns. And I was running, so I was a little more blue, so I was running more counter spells and control.
And the amnesia. Is that an amnesia there? With the natural order guy?
Oh yeah, I had an amnesia.
Oh dang!
Did you even
get to crack
did you get to
that?
cast that?
I never even saw the card the whole day. Not once did I
That's
see it.
achievement unlocked if you got it, but
Yeah, that's such a cool card. I mean, and I was, it obviously it only makes sense in a more prisony build, but and mine was a little slower with the mazes and a little more control.
Again,
But,
4 mazes, a bunch of islands, high tide, and amnesias and rack. I mean, that's a deck.
Yeah.
I could win a game with that somewhere.
No, and nobody expects Amnesia. No one expects that card.
Oh, damn. You just forked your ancestral? All right. Well, on my turn.
Amnesia.
How about we amnesia?
And
What
you know,
about more abyss? I mean, I actually ran 3 main with a 4th one optional on the sideboard after game 1. Like, if someone sees abyss, then it's kind of doomed. If they don't, I would bring in a 4th one. A lot of what about that as an option? Because that really can buy you some time.
It can, but the thing with Abyss is that, like, okay, either it's really devastating, or they could just outrace it. Like, when you drop the Abyss, I guess your opponent decides, okay, am I going to race this thing, or am I just giving up on this whole creature panel until I get an answer? I only did 2. I want to think. I want to say I may have had 3, but I was just
Looks like
the decks
2.
I was. No, I mean in playtesting, and
Oh,
then I
okay.
think I may have gone down to 2 because it was just slowish, if that makes any sense. I have a pseudo 3 with the tutor, and yeah, I don't know. I lost games even with the Abyss out against my friend Vince, who just like went wide and just beat me because he just had all the green weenies. He
So that's
didn't.
I had I had 3. This is my deck here, but I also had the mazes, and yeah, so I was able to like
Yeah,
candelabra maze into abyss
yeah.
and stopped a massive Eureka. He put like 5 things out and still never got through eventually because I was able to double maze, abyss. Oh, I know. Yeah, cracked a lotus against his if bit. That was the other thing. So,
the
but that
other
was,
the other
but
the other thing
I'd
going
probably
on
put
with,
one more maze in my deck before I put it Abyss.
yeah,
probably right. Yeah, probably a good
yeah,
call.
Micah has already 3 mazes, so he might
4.
want to. I mean, sorry,
No.
4 mazes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I
sorry,
had 4. The other thing going on in the deck is just, I mean, it's really, you can't overstate how little room there is when you're talking about a 3-card combo. You really, I mean, we don't have a full play set of, it's not 12 cards, but it's, 10 of your 60, and you only have, if you're talking about, you take out all the mana and the mana rocks and the blue power, you only have 30 cards left to talk about, and 10 of them are the combo. So
Yeah, if you didn't have a
it's
signed Felwar Stone, you could take that out though. You got to play because it's that damn cool. But the rest of us could take that out.
Yeah.
I was only playing on. I think we both only played on color Mox, and basic. I mean, I really wanted to. And I don't know, Andy, what you were thinking, but I really enjoy playing enough. This is a 2-color deck. We can play lots of basics. I'm not worried about Blood Moon at all. And it's always nice to go into a tournament not worrying about Blood Moon. So.
Plus, I hate getting mana screwed. Oh, it's the worst. I'm like, I wish I had my 3rd color. So I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, this is not a deck that wants Dark Ritual. Oh, really? And so anyway, like I was thinking about what you said about the abysses, and for me, like I'd probably put in another Gauntlets of Chaos before I put in another Abyss, just to find the combo that much faster, and because it's actually an actual utility card. You could steal your opponent's creature with it, right? Give them a factory and take their Sarah or whatever. That does come up.
So what about a white version that runs, Wrath of God and Archaeologist to keep getting it back and just keep like cycling through your artifacts? I've been playing that card a little bit, and it's really good, and people recognize, like, I don't see it played anywhere, but when I play it, they're like, oh shit, gotta get rid of that thing. You start cycling. Chaos Orbs are pretty awesome. You can actually run it with Bazaars and just start jamming stuff in the graveyard, so you're really filtering pretty quick, and then when you find it, you Archaeologist it back. You could run, like I said, some Wrath of Gods, the white boards. You could have swords. It's infinite, so you can swords the hell out and give them all the life they want. But you're in. You got to have. Yeah, it's just black and colorless, really. You just got to have black, right?
Yeah, you just got to have black, and no, I'm with you. I've been thinking a lot about a white build with moat and maybe archaeologists.
Nice. Yeah. Now we're talking.
And stall it out. And yeah, the only 3 artifact possession in the board somewhere, and that's all you need. You don't need it doesn't need to be a black deck per se. The real question is yeah,
Wait,
like,
artifact. I mean, archaeologist is 2 white tap to return target artifact
Yeah.
card from your graveyard to your hand.
yeah.
Yeah, back to your hand. See how to replay it, but
So yeah, I've done that before. If you get it's 5 mana and a chaos orb, a chaos orb every turn. You need 5 mana.
yeah, I was running with land tax and Bizarre Baghdad, because once you get the land tax, a lot of times you just need the 3 lands. So if you get that, you're cool. If you can literally get that going with the Bizarre Baghdad, you pitch the 3 lands, you got to draw 2 new cards, and do that every turn. If you're that's a pretty sweet way to really filter stuff out. And that little engine was doing great. I really enjoyed that. So I played it LobsterCon
kind of thing.
But that was fun. And then just literally just every now and then you just sort of get the Chaos Orb block going, and they're a little late on lands, and all of a sudden it's over. There's nothing they can do. That one's fun. No Guardian Beast. No reason to worry about keeping stuff alive.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Here's the problem with Guardian Beast. One of Guardian Beast's abilities is not only are your artifacts indestructible, your opponent can't get control of your artifacts.
Oh,
so that sucks.
So yeah, Guardian Beast is a non-bow with this combo. It does not work.
So I need to run my own. No, how the hell do I give you a Guardian Beast? I don't even know. It dies to abyss. Yeah, nah. If I could take you down somehow.
We could just scratch that last line off the Guardian Beast.
Yeah, that's the one part of Guardian Beast no one ever pays attention to, but except for this combo, that stops the whole thing.
Well, so I was playing somebody in Winter Derby. He had double Guardian Beast, and then he had a Chaos Orb and copy artifact, and I had the freaking is it Dust to Dust, and it exiles 2 artifacts. That's the only thing that would stop that of the entire old school pool, and I freaking had it. I was like, because he had me hard, but it exiles them instead of destroys them because they're indestructible, and there's this like no way around it. But yeah, all right, yeah, Guardian Beast out. Okay, good call. I'm a huge fan of Titania's Song. It's just so good. If you don't run Moxen and just play it raw, it's amazing how many people are just really hurt by it. It just kills all their 0, and their Soul Ring's a 1/1, and you just don't care. And I feel like that strategy is a little underplayed.
Yeah. Andy, you're the one, I remember you brought up being really happy with the Mirror Universe in the deck. You want to talk about that?
One of the deck's bad matchups is against Burn. Like just like 12 bolt Burn kind of, you don't have much interaction. And all they have is like Savannah lines. Actually, probably the worst matchup is just like mono red, just mono Burn. Nobody plays that. Nobody plays that, but that would be really bad. So, but yeah, Mirror Universe just I think it's great. I think it it gives you a few extra turns to kind of get your engine going.
And we each
for a while, then
you and I each ran 2 transmutes, and it's a great transmute target.
Transmute.
What's this doing here? What's this trans?
Oh, so that was our answer to if they don't run artifacts. Like if you're playing, and what you're pointing to is an Ashnod's Transmigrant.
Yeah, there you go.
If you're playing against a white weenie deck, which probably doesn't run maybe a Soul Ring, maybe a Pearl, or a Goblin deck or something that doesn't have any artifacts for you to switch, you just make their creature into an artifact and then switch it that way.
Very good. Okay.
That was our Hail Mary.
That is the only way in Old School to do that.
Another archaeologist target, by the way. You can.
There you go.
Cycle through that. Might have a mono white version of this brewing. I don't know. Well, not mono, but
Oh, and you can make your creatures immune to the abyss too, way.
Yes, yeah.
So might be something there.
Keep your archaeologist around.
What is he? 1/1?
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, he's kind of garbage.
Yeah.
So fragile.
He basically just sucks a kill spell out of their hands. But anyhow, I mean, that's why you're on
1/4?
flash counter.
Oh man. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can go with this. I think you really only, like you said, you really only need black. So I think there's a lot of avenues that haven't been explored and be interesting to see.
I hope people keep trying this. This is cool.
I mean, it's definitely. I don't think people will see it. Even now that it's out there, nobody expects it to be played.
Yeah, because I'll explain it to people, and you can just see their eyes glazing over about the third or fourth card. You're like, wait, how many? What are we talking about now? And then what's this card? They don't know any of them, so none of them really make sense. You know, if
It's like round 5. Several drinks in, you're like, all right, man, yeah, sure, okay,
whatever. I'll just,
whatever you say. Well, let's go to the next game.
Even if the combo comes out instantly, it's still very mana intensive, right? Because to activate the gauntlets, you still need 5. Even once you got all the pieces on the board,
Oh
you
my
still need
God.
5 mana. So this is very rarely going to be a like play all 3 on one turn and win the same turn. Like it's not.
Could you
opponents are
jam
gonna
this
see it
into a power artifact? Like, draw your deck, you get infinite mana, then play one of each of these. And you'd still have to have man, it's still tough.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I would love to put in an Aladdin's lamp and power artifact and monolith and everything, but then that's like 3 different decks trying to fit into one. There's no room for it.
Welcome
really
to my
not that
head.
much
Yes,
room.
this is how I play.
Yeah. It's really being a 3-card combo that's a lot of cards. It really is tough to know what to. Yeah, you really only have like 15, 20 cards left over to mess around with.
And like Eureka Lich or whatever, I mean, you start there's a bunch of cards that go into that to make that thing happen. It's a little more obvious, but you gotta have a Lich, a Mirror Universe, probably a Eureka, and then somewhere to kill them. You're back into like a 4-card combo to make that happen. And sometimes it does. It's awesome. I don't know.
Yeah,
What keeps me
Lich
playing.
I wish Lich is a playable deck. That's such a great card and such a flavor win for
But
the
Lich is
original
like
Alpha set.
the engine for Lich it's kind of almost self-perpetuating, right? Like the turn keeps going, like you can keep going and almost draw your entire deck. This one you just run out of mana eventually, so it's not as good. I looked at it more as like a kind of control-y kind of mid-range deck rather than a combo deck. I think it's if you look at it that way, you'll be playing it better. I was never. I tried to initially like rush out with this thing. Oh, let me do this, and that didn't work. It did not work.
I feel like we should
so
collectively
bad.
put up a prize for someone that can top 8 with this combo somewhere.
That'd be
It's gonna
great.
be more than an 8-man tournament, though. Clarify
Like an
that.
altered gauntlets of chaos or something.
Yeah.
Maybe one of each. They're like what, a couple dollars?
Yeah. We will each personally assign a full
Fill in
play
a
set of this
package.
combo and send it to
Like
you.
mail it to you. We need
Oh shoot!
one altered card of each.
You guys got any other cool projects? Every time I hear your name, you're always doing something. What are you guys up to these days? I mean, other than I guess Micah's digging deep into the rules.
What I've been doing. I mentioned it earlier. I've been just editing this GloryCon thing. Hopefully it'll be out soon. We'll get some nice feature matches, some more content, video content on.
Do you do much
YouTube or
videos, or is
whatever.
this something new for you? Or?
Yeah, this is the first time I'm actually spending some time on it, like putting some production value into it, and I kind of just didn't want to video it and just put it out there. Initially, it started as okay, maybe we'll just commentate later. I talked to France. I was like, I'll just stream it if you get me an internet connection, but it's Gettysburg, so there was no way. There's no Ethernet cable. We wanted to buy 100. France was like, "What if I get 100-foot cable? Can we run it to the other building?" No, we were like, So I was like, all right, well, I'll just record them and edit them later, and I'll get commentators. So, and then one thing led to another, and now I kind of want to do a little production value to it. So it's coming out nice. Hopefully, people like it and at least get to see people play. So I'll put it up.
Have you ever watched Land Lotus Juzam on YouTube?
No, who's is that?
It's there's only you make a note of this. You need to watch this. I think there's 3 episodes of it, maybe 4. It's probably some of the greatest old school commentary. It's Land Lotus Juzam,
Okay.
and they made it in the mid to late 2000s, but it's like it was in the 97s, and they're freaking hilarious, dude. It's so good. It's just like, oh, I don't know. They use these, oh, you played it into the battleground, and oh, I don't know. They're really intense and into it. But Land Lotus Juzam, I think there's only 3, maybe 4 videos on all of YouTube, and it's some of the funniest freaking old school magic you'll find. I wish these guys did more. Let's look here real quick. Land Lotus Juzam has 3 videos. Yes, they have 3 videos, and they're all amazing, and they're from 9 years ago, and it's so good, dude. You have to just watch this.
Yeah, it takes it's not easy. I mean,
Well, I think that's what happened to them, is they edited all this stuff, and they had such a great energy and all that stuff, and they're probably done with 3 of them. Like, man, fuck this. This is a lot of work, man. It's a full-time
It's
job.
really a labor of love. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
And yeah, but even that, I mean, commentary, like you mentioned, I'm going to check them out. I haven't seen them, but I'm excited. Even
It's
commentary,
super fun. It really is good stuff.
it's not easy commentary, like keeping it engaged and everything, because ultimately you're just looking at a table and hands and cards, but like talking and stuff, it's definitely a skill that needs to be practiced. I'm still learning how to do it, so, but I like doing it, so that's what I've been up to.
Are you for these videos for GloryCon, are you doing new commentary or just the live commentary you did? Wait, you were playing.
No, I was, my
It's all
phone was
post.
there I hooked it up to a charging brick and I just left it there. Video.
Okay, so you're now.
We finally finished all the commentary. I finished today, was the last round. So I got, how many, was it 6 rounds or 7 rounds or whatever?
6.
How many rounds? 6 rounds, and then we have the quarterfinal and then 2 semis and then the finals. And so we did all the commentary for all of the rounds, and now I just got to go.
That's awesome. I like. I mean, live commentary is obviously exciting watching matches live, but obviously the quality of commentary is much better when you do it that way in post, and you can really put some thought into how the game's
speed up
going.
the game a little bit. You can go like 1.25, and it's not as long. So
yeah, that's great. Any cool things from the day that are worth highlighting, or any interesting matches that are there?
Well, I can't let the cat out of the bag.
All right.
No.
They're all bangers. Every one of them.
They're all of them are good.
You ain't gonna believe some of these cliffhanger endings and stuff.
Yeah,
That's
it's
great.
crazy. It's insane. Once you get under the pressure of the lights, anything can happen. People choke.
That goes
feature
infinite.
table's rough.
Folds against the spell blast. It's so sad.
Spell blast. People spell blasting Moxon. It's nuts.
Yeah, spell blast a flash counter. It's the saddest thing you've ever seen.
Spell blast a flash counter.
Oh shit.
Sorry guys, we got the wrong table. We'll fix that. Yeah. But,
oh, that's great.
aren't you guys coming out to Hartford? Hartford's my next tournament. I'm gonna head out there.
I'm on the wait list.
Oh, you're on the wait list.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. They eroded Rock Hydra to be what is it?
It's all the same as
red
one.
X.
Yeah, 1 red to grow ahead instead of 3.
And I think the casting cost is red X instead of what is it normally? No, that's what it normally
that is normal.
right? Okay, yeah. So the only thing is the head thing. It's just 1 red instead of 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 red to grow ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure the best. I really had a good time playing this thing. But I don't know if the best is to play a big version of it or just start. I actually win games when I just play it small and just keep throwing a head on it each turn. it seems to do a lot better than if you just drop like a 20/20 and then just swords it instantly. I feel like they just sort of don't care that it's a 2 power, and then all of a sudden it's a 3, and then it's a 4, and then like crap, that thing's done a lot of damage to me, and they start to, I don't know. Now, obviously, it'll be a spotlight in this event, but just in general, like Raw Dog and Hydra, that's what I've kind of learned is just play it small and then sort of tick it up, and they don't realize the threat that's coming at them.
Yeah.
What do you think the meta's going to be like? Is everybody's going to play like Pestilence and stuff? Like I don't know what it's going to be
I
like.
don't know. Who knows?
Swords?
Who knows?
Conversion's gonna be out. Who knows? All the red hate's gonna come out, I guess.
Right.
But it'll be interesting.
No, that sounds like a fun event. No, that's cool.
Everyone playing Volcanic Eruption.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, good call. It's a good meta call there. Yeah, we got the Battle for Ohio coming up, so we're gonna do that. I don't know. I hate organizing tournaments. When you can't make it, everyone's got a birthday for their kid. Everyone's got family and crap, and I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like last year everything just kind of fell in place. This year, everything.
This is just the clusterfuck of who knows what. My family, I got to take my dog with me. It's a pain in the ass. It's just a huge headache. I don't know. It sucks being an adult, man. I'm so tired of it.
Responsibilities. Oh.
So yeah, we'll do that. I don't know what else we'll get into this year. We'll have to see how it goes. But that's the next one. We are doing a two-headed mono green, two-headed giant mono green, and then if you play an off-green card, the other head has to take a shot. So you could just and or drink. Maybe it doesn't have to be a full shot, but I think that should be kind of fun to see what people do. We do have a house rule that Playgrats and Thrall Champions are unlimited, so there's been a lot of debate about just building two decks with just 40 or 45 Playgrats or Thrall Champions. Jason says Thrall Champions are better because you can steal other people's Thralls. This is a mono green event, I don't know if you're really up for drinking 2 cases of beer during 3 rounds of this, but it'll be fun. I think it'll be a good time.
Wait, is it all Thralls are unlimited or only Thrall Champion?
Only Thrall Champion. Thrall Champion's unlimited. That's just the house rule. Thrall Champion and Playgrats are unrestricted. So
that card is so bad.
It's all about whoever gets the first Thrall Champion down.
I'm trying to run like 6 in a deck. It really it doesn't make it better either. It's just like saying Gauntlets of Chaos, they're unlimited. I don't know. We can just
you can play like a Eureka
really
build. That's the loophole around the shots. You play Eureka and then all your Thralls come out. You don't have to take the shots because I didn't cast them.
Here we go.
And we talk about you just buy some really crappy beer, drink some Schlitz or whatever. You can drink a case of that. It's not that big a deal. It's only a few rounds.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Even Playgrats Unlimited, like because I know the Pacific guys have been playing with unlimited Playgrats for years now, but I still
no one seems to take advantage. I ran that in alpha. It was awesome. It was really a fun day. I ran it 2 seasons, and I got top 4 the 1 season. Didn't do as well the other one, but it is a super cool. It just the way it scales, and just like God forbid someone plays a Prodigal Sorcerer or something after they board wipe, and it was a fun deck. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of. I remember I had 6 of them out, and how did I do that? I did a Pestilence for 5, and you only had you had 2 lands. They freaking boomerangs about 1 rat. So all 5 of them did 5 damage, and all of a sudden they all died because I think that like the 5/5 island home guy. I was like, oh yeah, Pestilence for 5. You're tapped out. Oh wait, fuck me. Unsummoned. That was what he had, a freaking 1 blue. Unsummoned my last rat to make all 5 of them die. So I don't know, but it just the way it scales, and if you run a dark ritual, and how many do you run? You got to have enough to make it work. Not enough doesn't work. It's a fun deck, man. It really is.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's busted as fuck in 2-headed giant mono green.
Probably is.
What the hell are they gonna do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're just going to get obliterated. I mean,
Yeah, drop a
Slavic,
honey and a couple of cyclones and you're screwed, man. I don't know.
I don't think anybody.
I mean,
Uh-uh.
green has some good black hate though too. You got,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Torox chant and stuff. There's some decent black hate.
But you're running it's a mono green event, so who's really packing the black hate? I don't know. Maybe we're letting some secret tech out here. Um,
Just run nothing but green hate, but be prepared to drink a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
well, last year we did this last year. It wasn't two-headed giant, but it was just like if you just played a non-green spell, you had to take a drink, and Roger James or whatever just showed up and just played this like 5-color day. He'd get drunk as hell, but he just played it through, man. He didn't care. It's like, yeah, whatever. I'll follow the rules. I don't even think he had green card. He didn't even bring a green deck. He just went for it. So it was pretty awesome. Give him that. Guy's a warrior.
That is true.
Yeah, you got somebody showing up, just an iron stomach and a twiddle vault deck. just
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. So we're hoping to see. I mean, the official events, 3-player unified thing on Saturday, but Friday night's the before St. Patrick's Day, so we're gonna do something green. So that should be fun.
Oh, the unified event is awesome. That's such a great. I love that whole deck construction idea. It leads to really interesting, really competitive, but still interesting and spicy decks. It's really cool.
I really liked it during COVID. Man, I did that one with. It was one person. We had to bring 3 decks, and they just roll a dice. And there were 3 unified decks, and you just had to play whichever one. That was cool. That was a fun event.
Yeah, that was a good.
I liked that a lot.
Yeah, that was fun.
Speaking of which, I still need to build my deck. I still don't know what.
Get on that shit, dude. We only have a couple weeks.
Probably the night before.
Like usual, shitty deck photo. Yeah, we know what to expect from you.
Yep.
Inspiration, strikes the night before.